All right, welcome to the one. This is for the Three Peaks Challenge, Alpine Classic, Grand Fondo, any Von2 challenge, any big day on the bike. All right, any big day on the bike, you want to make sure of many things, and these are basic things. Like a bit of my background, I've cycled, toured around the world. I've done 24-hour mountain bike races, won them. Done big epic Audaxes, Paris-Brest, Paris in like 51 hours 30. No support, no stims. I've just done a lot of stuff like 500k rides, 600k rides, blah blah blah. 6,000 k's in a month. I've trained many ultra endurance cyclists, guys like Abdullah from the Glucose Network. I remember he came to my house in 2014, didn't even have drink bottles on his bike. I gave him some drink bottles and cages. I said, bro, you got to have a drink bottle. He was wearing a skater helmet that was tied up by a shoelace, but he had a great attitude to want to learn from me. And he just literally took everything I said, literally. He even had a tattoo of rice on one shoulder and glucose on the other. And he is, and if he said to me, I'm going to become, one of the greatest endurance riders ever, back then I would have said, oh, yeah, cool, bro. I sort of would have thought, oh, that's optimistic, but nah, probably not. And he proved me wrong. He set in a crazy ride across Australia, done things like that. So very proud that he, non-cyclist, like this guy's non-cyclist, becoming an absolute freak on the bike just from following my protocols to the letter. Now, obviously, he does have, mentally, he just, he loves to go to the limit. And that's a big thing. But again, not many people are chasing Abdullah's level of ultra riding. Then you have people like Amanda Cocker who take it even to the insane level, like the unbelievable level. Google up Amanda Cocker, the world record for the most Ks in a year. Like just absolute freaky stuff. And I've talked with Amanda before. She's a great girl, down to earth. Crazy stuff out there. All right, so but anyway, we're going to talk about the one day stuff. It just comes down to a few, 5 basic things. First of all, cadence, and then carbohydrate, and then which is sugar, and then water, and pacing, and mindset, and safety. So with cadence, you want to make sure your gear ratios, if you're doing climbing, your gears are good enough for doing at least 80 average all day. All right, between 80 and 100 cadence all day. If you're trying to push up the hill and you can't hit 80 cadence, your gears are going to you're going to produce more fatigue metabolites than you need to. Can you do it? Get it done? Yeah, you can. But it's not going to be as enjoyable. You won't be as fast and your recovery won't be as good. And your chance for injury because you're grinding at the climbs versus spinning at 80 to 100 will be, if you're just cruising along at under 200 watts, or under sort of 3 watts per kilo, then 85 is okay. If you're trying to push your PR, FTP, you're going to need to be at least 90 to 100, even up to 105. You see the hour record holders, 105 cadence seems to be the magic sweet spot there. Dissipating fatigue metabolites and getting it done. So cadence, so what does that mean? You're going to want to have a power meter on your bike so you can pace your effort. You want to keep your watts. If the ride's going to be 10 hours and you can't average 300 watts for 3 hours, why would you even be at 300 watts at all? You want to be set at maybe 200 or 220 watts. You got to work out how many watts can you average every climb and still be okay for 10 hours or 7 hours or 5 hours or 3 hours. All right, so if you're going over those red lines of watts, then you're going to produce more fatigue metabolites and you'll finish slower. You'll finish slower. So having the cadence there, that's a huge one. Cadence, 80 to 100 at least. So for me, generally, I run compact cranks, which is like a 50, 34 on the front, 50 big ring, 34 little ring on the front. Even often you run a 4630. If you're using 11-speed Shimano cranks, you can run an Absolute brand called Absolute Black 4630. And on the back, I generally run a 32 up to a 40. Depends on the course, depends on what my goals are. In Thailand, Malaysia, the climbs are like insane. Like the backside of Doi Intanon or Doi Angkang, or in Malaysia, like Penang Hill, unless you've done them, you can't really appreciate how crazy these Asian climbs are. They make like outdoors or the Mortarolo seem just like pedestrian bike paths, you know? These climbs are absolutely freaky. They're dangerous, man. Even coming down, like they're dangerous. Disc brakes are melting, rims are overheating, popping tires. They just, so yeah, especially that Penang Hill in Malaysia. I've got the com on that. It's just insane. It's absolutely insane. I've had the com for the last 3 years on that Penang Hill, so someone go and grab it. It's a mutant climb. It's a mutant climb. But anyway, that's the deal there. Cadence, power meter, understand what watch you can hold. And let's talk about sugar. You know, sugar gets demonized so much. Oh, sugar's bad, sugar's bad. But sugar is what keeps you alive in hospital when you're in a coma. Sugar causes your body to burn more fat. Just Google up the Krebs cycle, all right? Krebs cycle. When you understand the Krebs cycle, you understand how important sugar is if you want to lose fat. If you want to burn fat, you need more sugar. Fat burns in the flame of carbohydrate. So it's the law of thermodynamics where energy is transferred, is changed. Sugar turns fat via oxygen into carbon dioxide. You breathe the fat out. You breathe out about 86% of your fat you burn and about 14% you pee out in the form of water. So sugar, carbohydrate plus oxygen turns fat, body fat, into carbon dioxide and water. It's the law of thermodynamics, right? The energy is transferred. So you're transferring fat, body fat into oxygen. This is why a low-fat diet is so important, because you're always burning fat. You're burning fat right now listening to this audio. You're burning fat when you're riding your bike up a mountain. You're burning fat when you're sleeping. But what happens is people keep eating more fat. So it's like you're spending money, and more money's coming in. You're okay. You're in good balance. But if you want to be in a money deficit, spend more money than money coming in. Now, people talk about calorie deficit, and that's wrong. That is wrong. All that's going to do, if you're in a calorie deficit, carb deficit, you're going to damage your thyroid. You're going to slow your metabolism. Look at all the overweight cyclists, overweight runners out there who train so hard. I mean, I've known a guy for the last 9 years. This guy does 300K rides. He rides, every single day, rain, hail, or shine. He's retired. He's dedicated. He's more dedicated than I am. And I saw him the other day. He's gotten fatter than 9 years ago. He doesn't look like he's 9 months pregnant, but he looks like he's probably like 7 months pregnant, And this guy is dedicated. But he thinks sugar's bad, and so he loads up on fat. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He goes, it's okay for you. You burn the sugar off. I said, dude, you're training more than me, man. You're training more than me. And he's like, I said, dude, look up. The fat eats the fat you wear. And I tapped him on his Buddha belly. I said, man, if you want to get rid of this fat belly, no offense, but just cut the fat under 10 grams a day. And he's like, this is a conversation of like 3 years ago, and he's just getting fatter. So he thinks bacon makes you slim and sugar makes you fat. So, and he's super slow. He rides slow because you can't ride very fast when you're in ketosis, and when you have low carb in your system, your performance is quite chill and slow. But it doesn't feel good. I hate feeling slow on the bike. I love riding as fast as I want to go. I might just be dawdling along, but if I need to drop the hammer, I like that feeling. I can turn up the gas, chase some friends or chase a bit of banter, whatever. So carbohydrates is the secret. Have at least 100 grams per hour. If you're a 60, 70 kilo rider, at least 100 grams of sugar per hour. You might need more. You might need a bit less. Just listen to your appetite there. But definitely eat sugar before you're hungry, all right? Drink water before you're thirsty. If you're not peeing every 2 or 3 hours, at least 2 hours, clear, strong urine stream. Peeing clear every 2 hours on the bike in the hot weather, maybe even 3 hours and it's winter, then you're dehydrated. You're going to lose performance. You're going to delay recovery. Your blood's going to thicken up. The chance for clot on the plane flight home is increased. The chance for clot in the car on the home is increased. Drink water. You want thin blood, and you want that via hydration. Water. Drink enough water so you're peeing clear every 2 hours. At work, on the office, sitting on the office chair, sitting on your bike chair, you sitting in a movie cinema, every 2 hours, pee clear urine. That is for your kidney health, man. Your kidneys produce EPO, or erythropoietin. They produce that, which triggers the bone marrow to release red blood cells. It's important for your hemoglobin. It's important for everything. If you're a guy, it's important for penile function and penile hydraulics. All right. If you're dehydrated, your dong ain't as strong. All right. When your hydration is strong and your carbs are strong, so is your dong. So just drink enough water. You pee every 2 hours. Oh, that's no, that's not inconvenient. That's just how it is. Like, having lots of money in the bank and counting money every day, that's inconvenient for some people. All right. But if you want to live the good life, that's just what you got to do. You got to pee, and you got to deal with things. All right, this is how it is. We're adults now. We're not little babies. I don't want to go pee. I don't want to go pee. Get used to getting subpar performances in. So we're going to sleep. If you need to have a power nap, have a power nap. But generally, if you're tired on the bike, you probably just haven't drunk enough water and haven't had enough sugar. So smash back a litre of water, smash 100 grams, 200 grams of carbs in. Maybe have a little 5-minute power nap if you need to. Just close your eyes, take your shoes off under the tree, and then boom, go out there and go it again. All right. Stimulants. I don't recommend stimulants on long rides. Especially if it's hot, they'll dry you out, they'll heat you up, and they can cause crashes because you're too skiddy and jittery. All right. If you're going to take stimulants, take like quarter dose. All right. I'm a big fan of the quarter dose, and that way you can still be very, very lucid and very, very sober, but just have a little bit of an edge to a stim. By stims, what do I mean? I mean caffeine, cocaine, methylphenidate, Adderall, dextroamphetamines, things like that. I'm not recommending them, but I know people are going to use them. So let's go with a quarter dose. If you need a full dose, you need to have more rest, sleep, water, sugar in your lifestyle, because your adrenals and your metabolism is taking a fisting. All right. If you need a full dose to feel something, you shouldn't take it. You shouldn't take it. If a quarter dose isn't enough for you, don't take it, because you need more recovery. All right. Now, no one's going to tell you that. Nobody who's coaching people is going to tell you that, but that's the truth. And that's why age 44, I can still stay fit and have a great mental health function and great metabolic effect, because I'm looking after my rest and recovery. And when I use stims, it's very rarely, and often it's a quarter dose, max half dose. I can't remember last time I had a full dose of any stimulant. Better off about, if it's hot weather, no stims. All right. If it's 30, 40 degrees Celsius, no stims. Okay. No stims. It's just you're going to overheat and you can perform less. You won't enjoy it as much. There's something magical about the sober, epic bike ride. There's something magical about that. You really take it in. You have maximum sensitivity. It's just something magical about the sober bike ride, or a quarter dose bike ride. But there's something magical about the sober effort, man. It's just hard to say. It just is. I've blasted stims before, and you do a 200k ride, and you're like, that was so easy. That was too easy. Just like that. Didn't feel it. It's just blast mode, and it doesn't feel the same. You don't really feel it, So it's I like that sober reality. When you're sober, you have the best participation in your daily reality, I feel. Or quarter dose. What else? Bikes. It's about safety. Make sure your tires are good. Make sure your stem bolts are done up tightly, or not tightly enough. Use a torque meter, 5 Newton meters, 6 Newton meters. Make sure that your seat post isn't slipped. Make sure you got everything marked out. You got your seat height marked, so in case anything's slipping. Just go over your bike with a torque wrench and make sure everything's nipped and tucked and it's all good. Make sure that you don't have a ring of death in your steerer. Make sure if you're using a carbon steerer that you don't have any spaces, or maximum 5 mil. Or make sure that your steerer plug goes below your lower stem bolt. All right. If you're using a carbon steerer, make sure your steerer plug goes below your lower stem bolt. Okay. If you're using disc brakes, make sure that you've got enough, rotor left there and pads are good. Rim brakes, it's easy to tell with that, because you want at least 2 mils of padded there, but with discs and rotors it's a bit harder to tell because it's more slight. It's not as many. The tolerance is a lot less. Room for error is less. And sleep, get enough sleep, man. The week beforehand, go to bed at 9 o'clock. The week beforehand, get your carbs in always. Keep your fat intake low, under 10 grams a day. Go. Nutrition on the bike. I like to take in sugar water. If I've got to do a 5-hour ride, taking 500 grams of sugar in a water bottle. So one bottle has the sugar water, like a big gel, and you just give it a shake, big squirt every 20 minutes in your mouth, and then rinse it down with fresh water. Keeps those teeth, just the mouth clean and hydrated. You want to avoid a dry mouth. A dry mouth is a mouth susceptible to cavities because saliva protects the teeth. All right, so you always want to make sure your mouth is moist and you're peeing clear every 2 hours, all right? But you might be peeing clear every 2 hours and hydrated, but maybe it's dry and your mouth's getting dry. So always sip water. Sip, 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 sip. These things are going to revolutionize your riding tips. These things I wish I learned from day one. These things took me, almost 10 years to really learn. And I learned the hard way, all right? So don't learn the hard way. Learn the durianrider way. Learn my way versus the highway of hard knocks. And again, this is why you got people like Abdullah, etc., just going rapid fire in progression because they just listen to what I said. And Abdullah's a logical guy. He's like, yeah, it makes sense. I'm going to do that. And just crushing it. All right. So just go out there, be respectful of stimulants, look after your body. You only have one set of kidneys. You only have one brain, one head, two eyeballs, etc. So just go easy in the downhills as well. It's another one. So let's talk about safety. We've done the bike check. Now let's talk about safety, man. Like I've seen horrific crashes on the road. All right. I've seen people smashing compound fractures in the femur. I've seen people have brain damage. I've seen people have to quit cycling because of brain damage, disability. Like it's real, man. All right. I've known cyclists who have died on downhills. Okay, they've hit barriers, they've hit oncoming cars. They go too quick, lead a blowout. Or they're in wheelchairs. I know guys, unfortunately, in wheelchairs. I know it happens, man. All right. And maybe you're young. You're like, oh, I'm saying no, it doesn't happen in my world. I'm 44. I've ridden with thousands of riders. I've seen so many crashes, and that's why today I go pretty casual on the downhill. All right. I've seen dogs run out on people. I've seen people smash all their front teeth out and have a $50,000 dental bill. I've seen chickens run out and dudes pop collarbones. I've seen it, man. And I've seen cars freaking swerve into bunches, causing crashes. I've just seen it. So have visible clothing, have some neon helmet or neon socks, be visible, and just be paying attention at all times and understand the downhill and the corners is where the danger really is. So why, I always err on the side of caution on downhills. I'm not into self-harm. A lot of people descend like they're into self-harm. You see on YouTube descending like they're just self-harming mindset, and that's unfortunate. But I like to go, relatively safe on the downhills. What does safety mean for me? If I get a front wheel blowout, can I still pull it? Can I still hold it up? Right? If you can't get a front wheel blowout and hold it up, I would say you're going too quick, and the chances of a front wheel blowout is very rare, but I've had them. I've had maybe, 15 in my life. You hit a rock or your rim tape that you thought was okay, slipped over and exposed an eyelet, or your tube just separates at the valve just for whatever reason. Things just happen. Things happen. Man-made things just fail. And so fortunately I was going at a speed where I could still hold it up. And I'd also recommend getting a super, super cheap rim, like a damaged rim, and put a tire in it and run it flat and ride down the street on that. Go on a tennis court and ride on that flat tire or at 10 PSI so you feel how wobbly the front end can get, all right? Because that's what's going to happen. And the same with tube. That's why I don't run tubeless road. Tubeless road and 25mm tire, in my opinion, is dangerous because if you get a blowout, you're on the rim straight away. At least with the tube in there, you got a bit more padding. But tubeless road, I'm not a fan of. Hookless road, that's just the dumbest thing ever. Because you get a front wheel blowout, that tire is blowing off the rim so quick, it's getting caught in your front fork, and you're going face plant city. Okay, so hookless rims, don't use them on the road bikes. This is dumb. They're okay on the mountain bike, but you got a big fat 2-inch tire. It's a bit different story. But when it comes to road, speeds are higher, PSI is higher. It's just the room for error is a lot less. There you go. That's the truth. No one's going to tell you that. They don't care, or they don't know, or they do know and they don't care to tell you that because they're fearing social disapproval. But you know me, I'm not here to make friends, so I don't care who I offend. I'm here to help people, and I'm here to enjoy your enjoyment of the beautiful thing that is cycling. What an amazing sport. What an amazing self-discovery activity it is. Riding across your suburb, riding across your county, riding across your state, riding across your country, riding across other countries. The bicycle is a transformative tool. It's super safe. Let's pay attention out there. Let's be visible. Let's take care of our equipment. Let's stay carbed up at all times. Let's understand that the fat we eat is the fat we wear. And if you want to be as lean as me or as lean as the people I coach, just restrict your fat. Have as much carbs as you want. You have the best mental state out there. And life's just meant to be enjoyed, man. Life's meant to be sweet. and fit and lean. And that's just how it is. If you got any questions, let us know down below. You want more one-on-one coaching, join my coaching group at durianrider.com and learn the best tips, man. Learn the best tips from the best. And I've even got world tour riders that I coach, off record. I do have quite a controversial name, so I keep I'm not a clout chaser, so I keep names tight, but I'll guarantee you there's world-class cyclists and runners out there who are taking my advice on board, some of their trainers as well, and it's trickling out there. So you just look at social media and you might see what's going on out there in terms of people from the Durianrider protocols. It's where it's at, man. It's where it's at. My payment really is, my biggest payment that I get out of this is seeing people get the smiles on their faces, and I know how good they're feeling. You're like, when you're carved up and your blood fats are low because you're eating such low fat, and you're on top of it, man. You're freaking on top of it. I know that feeling, and I see that feeling in people, and I'm like, yeah, I know it. I know how good you're feeling, and that makes me feel good. End of the day, I like feeling good, and helping others do the same. That feels really good. Thanks for the support, gang. See you out there.